A multi-billion, how many fucking, is it multi-billion or is it billion yet?
What, TKO?
Oh, TKO, which is the,
TKO.
do you want to explain TKO? What is TKO?
TKO Holdings is a venture capitalist firm that owns majority rights in a lot of different companies. WWE, Endeavor, UFC, PBR, Flow, Real American Beer. I mean, I'm not going to get into all that, but yeah, to me it is a little funny that a company that's one of the majority owners of a beverage company is sponsoring its competitions series. I don't understand that, but it's not for me to understand. Maybe there's some things,
Vince McMahon. This is the Vince McMahon.
maybe there's some business dealings behind the closed doors where that makes sense. You know, sometimes in the business world things are up that should be down, things are down should be up, and it doesn't make sense to you, but it's not my company.
Yeah,
so
it
doesn't
don't
even
have to make sense to you.
Right.
And let's just make it clear, they're not even close to a BlackRock or
No
State
one.
Street or
No,
Vanguard.
no one is.
I think Vanguard's too. Vanguard, State. The big three is BlackRock, Vanguard, State Street.
Yeah.
That's the big three.
They basically own the whole world.
They own everything. Yes.
How about this?
All the politicians, all the
Between
war.
those three companies, they own 65% of the entire world's wealth, and they own almost 70% of America's real estate. Wrap your head around that. They own 70% of all the real estate possible in the United States. That's scary, because when three different companies can just pull their card and go, you know what? We want to do something else with all this land. We want to do something. They could literally crash markets just by three dudes talking and having a bad conversation.
Right. Well, and that's the people who actually make these moves that affect our society. Yeah. The politicians know this, but the politicians work for these people.
Yeah. And if Kyle Larson can give us the leverage we need in motorsports, and Logan Paul now in WWE can give us leverage in both those properties, and then Flo, who sponsors Larson, can showcase what we're. It's like this perfectly packaged.
And are you saying
thing? It's not a bad thing. It just welcome to the world of big business.
Right, and there's a lot of competitive brands under these umbrellas out there, right? Like
competing against each other.
Right, like under the TKO Holdings.
No.
Or not even just TKO. Under the BlackRock umbrella, under the big hedge
competing?
Fund.
Yes.
The fake competitions.
Like, again,
fake competitions.
Berkshire Hathaway, prime example. They own more than half of the food market. They also own all those insurance companies I told you about. So when you're going there and you're deciding whether you're going to go with Geico, the Lizard, or Flow, a Progressive, understand that that's the same company, just branded differently.
Right, and they're
the same company that owns all of those choices that you have. It's called inventing the marketplace, and it's what big money does all the time.
It's an illusion, technically.
Yeah, absolutely. They give you. It's like when your kid comes to you and you give him an option. Both of those options lead to the same place you want it to lead, but the kid feels like he has options. And
right.
It's a progressive.
That's the manipulation of the human. They want the illusion of freedom of choice.
Everything is a psyop.
It is a psyop.
Period. So
yes.
Again, I don't think that the TKO thing and all
but
that. I don't think it's nefarious. It just
funny
it is
enough.
a thing.
Funny enough. So at the same time, Flow with Progressive. Let's say Progressive and Geico. There are investments in people who are working, and there is media and pushing to compete unknowingly in the groups. Like in the groups, they don't know. I bet you there's a bunch of fucking people selling insurance for Progressive, trying to steal somebody's customer from Geico that has no idea that we both work for the same guy.
Yeah.
So, in saying that, the Real American Beer scenario, is there a situation, like you said, inventing the marketplace, or WWE inventing conflict? Is there a plausible scenario where World Racing Group is already a TKO property? There's NDAs, certain things signed to where nobody can know. It's not allowed to know, just like the Progressive and Geico.
Right. So let me answer.
Okay.
Is it possible or probable? Because possibility is 1% of a chance all the way to 100, where probability is 51% on. Probability is it's more likely to happen than not, versus possibility, which is in a casino, anything could happen. Hell, racing, 24 cars out there, there's only one winner. That's possible, right? Yes, it's possible. Do I think it's probable that that's already gone down? Yeah, sometimes these dudes get a little shady out here.
No.
No, I think maybe.
Well, here's the deal.
I guess I'm 50-50, so it's not quite probable, but it's damn close.
I feel like people in media are close to understand this more because we work in that element of pizzazz, and media is salesmanship in a way. You're trying to sell the product that you're producing. So, and you see what works and you see what don't work. What's going to work more if TKO came to the ability? Let's just say TKO is smart enough to make the purchase prior to High Limit even coming about.
And what you have to understand about TKO is they are in the business of acquiring. Okay? Them and Dana White are now the owners of Street League Skating. Dana White and TKO Holdings own Nitro Circus. Like, the list goes, dude, they are literally consolidating the entire action sports
and
market.
No one knows their
across
name,
the
right? They're
board.
the shadow person. No one knows. You can find it out, but
you can
no
find
one
it out
knows.
if you do your research and you know how to look at public companies that are publicly traded. And I mean, it's all public information.
If you're going to acquire something, you want it to perform at its best ability. Correct? So let's just say it happened after High Limit came along. I think the smart thing to do is prior. If you're going to come in, you're like, all right, somebody at Flow goes to somebody at TKO. Hey, there's this World of Outlaw thing. It's in the way of our sprint card takeover. Let's just get it. And they're like, okay, we can get it, but how do you think it's best to go about it to make sure that these are profitable assets that we're acquiring? Well, let's study the market share, which is the human that's going to either buy into what we're doing with this brand or this form of sport or not. Do they have brand loyalty to this brand that we're acquiring? Can we just snub it? Can we just take it over? Does this group of people love 1990s wrestling?
Right.
Is this group of people going to support us if we come in and just shut the World of Outlaws down and put it underneath us? Or would this group support a scenario where we bring in a bad guy? Where we bring in a High Limit?
A heel
to the scenario. And now, will these rats in a cage, is what most people are viewed as, will these people, the psychological rats, basically is what we are, is it going to benefit the sport more, or our investments, both High Limit and World of Outlaws, if we just close one, put it under the umbrella, or if we put on a fight? Or if we, back to, like I said on the show, conflict and drama.
And competition.
And competition. You got this 110%.
I mean, if it's me,
that's the way to go about it if you're really trying to invest and make money and make sure things grow.
If it's me, I own both WRG and the High Limit Series, and I don't tell anybody, and I keep pitting them against each other all along the way until it just is a fever pitch, and then I decide one is going to swallow the other once we feel like the competition aspect of it, making people feel like they have a choice, making people decide, unifying them, galvanizing them through diversion is reached its peak, and then we decide, all right, which property do we think has the most success to go forward? That's just business 101. Again, businessmen at that level, they're not sitting in a room going, oh, well, what do we believe in?
Right.
What do we, like, what feels good?
And they're not 5-year plan guys, they're 15 and 20 and 30-year plan guys.
They're 50-year guys.
Well,
these are
Chinese
guys,
emperors are 100.
These are generational wealth building
people.
Funds. These are people who control money for some of the richest people in the world, making them the richest people in the world. They do not make decisions based off of feelings and buddies and, oh, I know this person, so I'm going to sponsor them versus... That don't exist on Wall Street. It is a zero-sum game. It either makes money or it don't.
And their job is to maximize the ability to make it.
100%. And if that means coming in and flipping an industry upside down and getting a little funny in the way they do it, so be it.